Hi. In this episode, we will cover buttons and other interactive elements like button. So let's start doing that. Let's first of all remove this uh, um, elements. By the way, you also can just click it either on the Screen Explorer or on the canvas, any element, and press backspace or delete, and it will ask you, do you really want to delete? And you can just confirm it with yet another enter. So let's have this home. And also, by the way, I want to remove this stack screen, but if you will just remove it as element, uh, it will be there. It's just without any settings, because by default, every screen has a header at the moment, at least. So you want to activate the screen layout settings. It will bring the screen stack screen component back, and you want to go to header and find this option header shown and disable it. Or another option, you can just search for it and say, oh, I don't want to search it. Okay, now we have really nice kind of splash style screen with some icon. And I want to make this icon interactive. I want to make it a button that will navigate me to another screen. What I can do is, first of all, let's create a new screen. But before that, let's rename this one. To do that, I can double click on the name of the screen. By the way, this trick also works with any element on the Screen Explorer. You can double click and rename, like button icon, and press enter at the end. And then I rename the screen. Another option to rename is go through the element menu and click rename here, and it will allow you renaming. So what we can do is, yeah, call it main screen. And let's create a new one. It's completely empty with nothing on the screen. Let's put some text on it in the middle. And let's, oh, we don't have any layout, so let's wrap it with view. And maybe even blur view, just in case. Let's see how to work. And then in this blur view, we want to have the size of this blur, like for the full screen. So we want to expand it, like make it grow, it's called. And then I want to put my text on the center. And regarding the blur, what we can do is have some blur regular, for instance. But it has no background. We need to add a background. Let's copy our image from this screen. You can copy paste it. Let's select the parent and it will over there. And then let's move this blur view inside. We don't need a button, but we have this text and this and since I did something differently, I want to change the blur view. I no longer want to make it grow. um, I don't need the layouting anymore, but I want to have some spacing to add some paddings, and I will do this. And then I want to do the text size a little bit bigger. Um, so the typography is there. Let's do it like 40. And then going back to blur view, probably want to make the border, the corners are rounded. Let's do them 20 as well. Yeah, here we are. So what it does, it blurs the content on the background. Blur view. So you can play with it. So why I did that? I just prepared the second screen. Let's call it second screen. And now I want to navigate from one screen to another one. from the first one to another one. I want to do it using this button. And I have few options there. First of all, I can wrap it with a link, which is the simplest option. And this link will navigate me to the second page. And let's preview it here. I'm not going to open it on native now, but you can do just scan with your app with your mobile phone if you have installed ExpoGo, and you will be able to see it. But we'll use the browser version. And once I click there, you see it goes. I click, it goes. But it has no kind of feedback. Like I don't see anything. So for that, I have an option of wrapping it with also pretty popular component is either touchable highlight or touchable opacity, which means it will animate the opacity a little bit when you touch it, when you click on it, and you see when I press it, it's a little bit goes this way. So a little bit effect just to make uh, it's like a real button. Another option is to use a button component, and with the button component you have different options. First of all, you have React Native button, which is not really recommended thing to do for a better UI, but it's a really nice shortcut that gives you this blue button that you can change the color, but you don't have much control over its look and feel. On iOS and Android, it will be looking a little bit differently. On iOS, it will be a text button, which feels more native. And you also can create an on-press action that will does something, navigation or like any other thing. And also, there are other buttons you can find here from React Native Paper component package, but let's remove those. And you have icon button as well, which is very similar to button, just with an icon. And you have a little bit more control over how it looks like. And also you can connect it to the on press action that will trigger some scenario. So that's it for this episode. See you in the next one.